Alright folks, we're going to show you the 2018 Pendulum Magician deck profile. This is under the February 5th ban list rules of the TCG. So I'm going to show you guys the main deck, ideas for the extra deck, half of them that is right now. I'm still talking about some other ones, but they're not all here yet, and then some ideas for your side deck. So we're going to get right into the side deck, or the main deck here. So let's start with, just move these out of the way. This start with the monster cards. So start with the monster cards. We're gonna have basically 3 Evolver Magicians except for Blackfang. So 3 Wisdom Eye Magicians, 3 Purple Poison Magicians. We're gonna have 3 Harmonizing Magicians, and then we're gonna play 2 of the Blackfang Magicians, as well as 2 of the Oath Dragon Magicians. Now, 2 of these, mainly because I think this one could be like a one of, but I put 2 in there just because it's a really good card to help you get to certain cards in your extra deck, which we'll talk about later, because it is a 6-star. So if you can do this, combined with a couple of other cards, you can get close to some of your other extra deck cards, as well as your Blackfang. This is a card that I put in here as like a kind of placeholder in a sense, because I need to play it more to see if it's actually viable. If it's more viable than I think it will, I'll put the Blackfang Magician at 3. All these other ones here, Harmonizing, Purple Poison, and Wisdom Eye, you have to run at 3, and that's mainly because they banned our Acrobat Jokers. You can't play these. These are banned under the February 5th ban list, as well as Double Iris Magician is also banned. And I'll tell you the cards that I used to replace these later on. So let's get these out of the way here. It's unfortunate that they banned them, but hey, the deck took a pretty heavy hit when they got rid of Skull Acrobat Joker and Double Iris Magician. But yeah, so those are the magicians there. 3 of all of them, except for 2 Blackfang and 2 Oath Dragons. So next we're going to go to the Stargazer. We got Stargazer and 1 Time Gazer Magician. And that's mainly to go with the 2 Astrograph Sorcerer and 2 Chronograph Sorcerers. You can make these at 3. I've seen some people not even use chronographs and just use 1 of this. I've seen people use 3 of both. It's kind of up to you, but I just like it this way because I feel like it gives you a clean balance and allows some other cards to be in the deck. We're playing 2 Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer cards here. Those are pretty nice. Helps you even out your pendulums. Also, once per turn, if you have a card in your hand other than the Pendulum Zone, you can destroy that card. And if you do, add 1 card from your deck to your hand with the same name, which is pretty cool. So you can consistently get multiples of other cards. So you can have one of these or something like that in your Pendulum Zone. So let's say you place one of these cards here. You can use this card to destroy that one, pop it into your graveyard, activate the effects that gets it back from the graveyard, and then get another one in your hand. So then you can have 2 of them available at the same time. And then that just goes to your extra deck. So pop it there, put it in your extra deck, and then it'll be face up, and then you can just keep it moving from there. So it just gives you a lot of, not necessarily draw power, but actually searching cards that you want. Next, we put 1 Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser in here, mainly for a higher scale Pendulum, but because of what it does in the Pendulum, so when you put it in the Pendulum Zone, if you control no other monsters, you can special summon it, thus getting you that much closer to a card like Heavy Metal Foes Electromite, or even a couple other cards like Deco Talker or something else you want to get from your extra deck. We are running the Darkworm engine, so 3 Supreme King Dragon Darkworms combined with 1 Supreme King Gate 0. I'll talk about this again a little bit later. Missing 1 card from my spells here that can go with this. So the one is Foolish Burial. So if you have a Foolish Burial, basically hit Foolish Burial, throw that to the graveyard, have no other cards, add it back, and then you can keep it moving because this card here is good in that case because it gives you the perfect pendulum setup you need. So it gives you this, since this is a 0, if You can, if you want to use them as pendulums, you can just do that right away. And then this lets you search this card, I believe. Yep. So you can add, if you normal summon this card or special summon it, you can Supreme King Gate, which is what this is. So this card can be special summoned and still activate its effect if it's normal summon or special summon, even if you hit it with Foolish Burial, bring it back. So if they're there, now you have the perfect pendulums. You have 1 through 4, so now you can start pendulum summon with just these 2 cards alone, even though more viable in some other combos, but that's still pretty good. That's giving you perfect amount that you want. So you can hit 1, get it back, and then with that same card you can get this one. So that's pretty cool. Special summon or normal summon, which is good. Even though that'll put this here at the same time, but then you can just pop it, get it on your in your grave here, get it back, do all kinds of cool stuff like that. So that's all of those. And then the last 3 monster cards are 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Most people run what is it? The Ash Blossom. A little bit of cheaper option here. I feel like the Ash Blossom is a little bit overrated in a sense, which is why I'm playing these. Some people have these in their side decks and they put ashes in and switch them out and stuff. But, you know, I like to do it this way. So, again, a couple cards here that allow you to get really good special summons like that Foolish Burial with Dark Worm. Hand that to the grave, get it back. This card, place in Pendulum Zone, control a monster, special summon it. Let you keep it moving from there. So that's the monster cards. There is 29 of them, I believe. As for the spells for the deck, we have 3 Duelist Alliance, 2 Wavering Eyes, 2 Pot of Desires, 1 Pendulum Call. Let me put that this way for you. So you have Alliance, Wavering Eyes, and then you have Pot of Desires, Pendulum Call. Then you have 1 Cosmic Cyclone. Key cards here, Star Pendulum Graph. Good card. I do have another one in the side deck, which I'll show you. And then, but you can search that with this. And then you can get 2 of your Time Pendulum Graph, basically your number 1 card. Have this here. People can't target your stuff. You can target one of yours, destroy one of theirs. It's all good. That's why you put 2 of them in there, just because in case you Pot of Desires it, you want to make sure you're not screwed, so you have 2 of them. If you Pot of Desires this on accident, you'll be okay. But definitely the trap is the main one. So that's what we got there. You can add a couple other cards. So you could add another one of these if you wanted to. And I put that in the side deck. And then another pot. Usually people like to run 3 of those. If you get all 3 of these for some reason, somehow you leave yourself with your 5 card hand if you went first. Yeah, there's 41 cards in the deck total with the I think it's 29 of these. And then 13 here, I believe. So then you can have almost all of your cards gone already and just deal with what you need. So now we're going to move to the extra deck. So with the extra deck, as of right now, of course you have to run your Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. This card is your key card because it doesn't allow anybody else to get any other summons. So if I place it here in the zone, none of the arrows are pointing towards my opponent, so it just gives me 2 zones. Doesn't matter, 2 zones. We also have a Decode Talker. Of course, gotta have a Decode Talker. It's a good card. Playing a Frame Lord, Frame Lord, Omega, really good card. We have a Ignisters. Gotta have that card. Pretty good for protecting your stuff. Working on having the Enlightenment Paladin in my deck, which could be traded out. Maybe put a Stardust in. There's also a Beals you can put in there too if you wanted to. Some of the other things that you might want to recommend is a Clearwing, Odd Eyes, Absolute Dragon, Naruto is a good card. Those are all good cards that I put in here. Again, this is only half of my deck, half of the extra deck. This is only 8 cards. So if you put in these was that 5? This is 9 cards actually. So you have 6 other cards. You can put a Clearwing, Odd Eyes, Absolute Dragon, Naruto, and then you can put like a Stardust and like a Beals in there too, which would be pretty good. It's a pretty good extra deck. Number 41, Baguska. You can just sit on that in case you have nothing, a shitty hand on the first round. You can sit on that. You can't take any damage. It's always good. Tornado Dragon, just so you can hit their back row. It's always good. Time Star Magician. Always good to have in a Magician Pendulum deck. And then the last one is going to be your Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. With these cards, you're looking at close to, a lot of people do videos about how much, about the deck profiles, and they never tell you how much it cost. This deck is pushing, man, like $300, I think, close to it or something like that, and that's even with the cheaper option of these. Depends. Some cards just got banned, so cards could go up, cards could go down. These are like $15 a piece. If you went with the Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs card, you're looking at like 2 times the price of the deck, because an Ash Blossom is going to cost you about $100 to $90 right now. So that's why I would recommend most people going with those, because who wants to spend double the amount of money on your deck just for 3 cards that are only used as hand traps? I mean, they're viable, but that's about it. Again, one of your best plays is probably to, let's see what we got here. Let's just do the hand really quick. So let's say you get a really good hand. Let's say you get like one of these. You get probably something from your extra deck or your side deck. You get like one of these, maybe even like a Duelist Alliance. So you can use your Duelist Alliance to almost get anything. I would pop that to grab probably the Star Pendulum Graph, which would give you this. Put that, activate that for sure. Goes to the grave. The whole point of the deck is to probably get the most cards out of one hand as possible. So if you can get a Harmonizing Magician, if you can get that to the field, get that to the field, you have a level 4 tuner. Any of one of these other cards can already get you a nice card to go with. So depending on what card in your extra deck you want to go with, you can immediately summon level 4. I would go with the Beals, maybe. All it takes is 1 Dark Tuner, Harmonizing Magician, and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. So if you had that hand, let's say you had the hand with your Curtain Raiser. So if you have this as your hand, your first turn hand, let's just say you had that as your first turn hand. If you don't get that lucky, maybe use this to get this, or maybe use it to get one of the other pieces here. So really, you only need like these pieces right here. If you have this, it's not exactly the easiest thing to get. You could add 1 more of this in the deck, maybe. This was why I side decked it. Just 2 of them max though. So if you got these cards here, you could do this. You have your extra deck. This is your hand here. Use Duelist Alliance to get Time Pendulum Graph. Send that to grave. Put that down, so it's going to be face down here. Put this in your Pendulum Zone. Automatically summon it. Then normal summon here. You don't even have to do a Pendulum Summon at this point yet. So you already have these cards here. And then what you could do is you could activate a Pot of Desires to get rid of 10 cards. So 6, 7. Don't put them face down. We'll look at what we got. Draw 2 more cards. So my deck's not shuffled, but I got black things here. So at that point, you could just place these ones here. Now what you want to do is you can now go to your extra deck, and you already have everything that you need. You can get anything you want at this point as far as level 4s. You could get Electromite here because you have 2 level 4 effect monsters. So you can get that going. Or 2 level 4 Pendulum monsters. All you need is 2 Pendulum monsters. You can even get a Tornado Dragon. You can set a Tornado Dragon down. But my guess would be to maybe Synchro Summon. You could do this. Get Ignister out. Get some defense. Stuff like that. You could get a Time Star Magician at this point already because you have 2 level 4s. You get almost the whole extra deck is already viable. So you have 4, 4, 4. Can you get that one? Yeah, you can. That's level 8. You get this one, level 8. You can get these 2, level 8. I know you can get the level 8 Beals. You can get so much stuff with just these 2 cards right here, if you get them. Now, of course, it's lucky hand. You have a 1 out of, 40 chance? 1 out of 41 chance to get this card, because it's so good in the sense that it just allows you to get quick stuff. But let's say you didn't have this card. Let's say you didn't. Let's say you had, see what else we have here. Let's just say you got other scales here. Let's say you got this. Okay. This is what you got. Use the same thing here. Use the same thing. This is what you have. These cards here, right? Maybe not all of them. You could get rid of the black thing or something, okay? With this scale here, since you have a 2 chance of getting this, you put them in your scales. You can do this here, put that there, put Wisdom Eye here. Now you have 2 through 4. Now you can pendulum summon cards if you needed to, right? You can already pendulum summon. So you can just put this down, use your Duelist Alliance to maybe get another one before you do that. So put those down before you do that. And then instead of maybe getting this, let's say hopefully you get lucky and it's like your next draw, get something else. Get what would you want? Doesn't really matter. You can get anything. You can get an Oath Dragon Magician, right? You can get a Black Fang. Let's just say you get a Black Fang. So now you get that. Now you could have pendulum summon these at the same time, right? Now you still already have 2 level 4s, and you can do a level 8 Secret Monster, 2 level 4 pendulum cards here, summoned for Electromagnet, 2 effect monsters for Decode Talker, level 8, level 8, level 8, even your Beals of the Diabolic Dragons is already summonable, 2 level 4s, 2 level 4s, 2 level 4s. Your whole extra deck is already available to you. Half your extra deck is already available to you in the first turn if you get a hand without this card. If you get a hand like this, see? If you get a hand like this with one of these other cards, you already have everything. Let's say you don't get this. You don't even need that, right? You don't even need this card. Let's say you actually get this. You're set up. Now, the odds of that happening depends on what other cards you want to put in your deck. But let's say you get that. You already have your scales. 1, 5. Now you have everything through 2 and 4, which means you can just pendulum summon. Before you do that, activate this, get another card. Boom. Now you have that there. This goes to the grave. Let's say you activate this. That's there. Let's say I just want to set some defense. I'll just set this. That's what. There you go. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. That's a 2018 February 5th ban list Pendulum Magician deck. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.